Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first episode of my two-episode 2025 NBA Draft mini-series. And today we are talking about the international phenoms. And as we all know, the NBA is currently being dominated by international players like Victor Wembanyama, Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Luka Doncic. And you would think that the world was done making good international NBA prospects, and I'm here to tell you that it is not the case with these three international rising stars. Kasparas Jakucionis. Kasparas is really a intriguing 6'5" guard from Vilnius, Lithuania, who has a lot of upside and potential. And in my opinion, he was arguably one of the best young guards in US college basketball this past season with Illinois, dominating the NCAA with averages of 15 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, and shooting 32% from 3 and 44% from the field in just 32 minutes a game. Yes, these averages aren't that impressive stats-wise, but his offensive maturity, patience, and two-way presence on both ends of the floor can't be ignored at all. And Kasparas led Illinois in both points and assists as just a freshman. And that's very impressive in my book, considering that he just came from a European system in Barca. And the fact that he was able to quickly adjust his game to the NCAA is amazing. And unlike a lot of other Europeans that headed to college in the US, Jakucionis was able to bring that special European passing flair with him. And one thing I can say is that Yaku is also definitely a pressure player, because in away game situations, his averages pump up to 16 points, shooting 40% from 3, so clearly he can perform under the bright lights. And I think what makes him a intriguing prospect is that he is a big guard that can facilitate, control, and manipulate an offense because of his advanced understanding of pace and floor spacing, and he utilizes pace and his special sense of, how should I say this, spatial awareness to make effective reads both, on offense and on defense, like on reads and rotations wise. And Yaku is a very capable ball handler and playmaker, most especially in pick and roll situations, and he has this way of tricking defenders with his effective use of step back jumpers. And I can say that Yaku is a very versatile player that can play both as a facilitator that attacks the rim or a spot up scorer in short shot clock situations. And I think the reason why scouts and teams are really just salivating over him is because of his high potential, his build, his offensive intelligence, and his high potential as a NBA level playmaker. And if I were to compare him to an NBA player, it would be Spencer Dinwiddie of the Dallas Mavericks. And in my opinion, in order for Kasparas to become a great player, he just needs more in-game experience, maybe cut down on some weight so he's a bit more agile, definitely add some more muscle, and really, he just needs to improve his three-point jumper to make it more consistent, But I think all these things can easily be fixed with time and experience, and that's pretty much it. So I want him to do these things so that his options on both ends of the floor will definitely expand tremendously. And Jakucionis is definitely a project for sure, and I think any team will be very lucky to have him, and with the right development plan, I think he's going to be an absolute beast in the NBA one day, if everything goes well. Egor Demin. Egor is an immensely talented 6'9" guard / wing from Moscow, Russia, who is projected to be a top 7 to top 10 pick in this year's draft. And Egor has the complete package of what NBA teams are looking for nowadays. He's a good scorer, he's a good passer, he's a good rebounder, and most especially, he's a good ball handler. And long story short, Egor is a point forward who possesses the skills of a point guard that is stuck inside of a 6'9" body. It's ridiculous. And Yegor also has a very high basketball IQ that he weaponizes both offensively and defensively through his quick decision making and effective defensive rotations. And defensively, Yegor is a nightmare, most especially as a on-ball defender with his quick hands and fast closeout speed. And he really knows how to utilize his length and strength to alter shots and knowing how to fight through screens. And Yegor averaged 10 points, 4 rebounds with a team leading 5.5 assists, 1.2 steals, shooting 27.3% from 3 and 41.2% from the field in just 27.5 minutes a game for BYU, as he also helped BYU to a Sweet 16 finish where they sadly lost to Alabama. And I know what you're probably thinking. These numbers aren't that impressive, and that's kinda true. But you cannot deny Yegor's two-way effectiveness on both ends of the floor. Yegor's last 2 games, he had 15 points, 7 assists, and 2 steals against Alabama. Then prior to that, 11 points, 8 assists, and 8 rebounds, and 1 steal against Wisconsin. So you cannot deny that Yegor is a really good basketball player, heck, even elite, because both of the games I just mentioned took place in this year's NCAA tournament. And he did all of this as a freshman that straight up came from playing pro ball with Real Madrid. And I would say that Yegor definitely proved himself to be one of the best young players in the world this past season. And scouts are absolutely obsessed with him because of his height, his potential, his versatility. And Yegor is that type of player that NBA teams are looking for these days, as I mentioned a while ago, because you can plug Yegor from 1 to 4 lineup wise, and teams really love that idea of plug and play. And if I were to compare him to an NBA player, it would be Denny Avdia of the Portland Trail Blazers. I honestly think, in my opinion, in order for Yegor to become a great basketball player, he just needs more in-game reps. He needs to also get in more 3-point shooting reps, and that's pretty much it. Because with a better 3-point jumper, Yegor can stretch the floor and he can be even more lethal offensively. Because clearly, the IQ and intelligence is there. And Yegor will be an absolutely amazing player in the NBA if he keeps developing well and he has the correct team behind him. Khaman Maluach. Khaman is a very fluid and mobile 7'2" big from Rumbek, South Sudan, who is projected to be a first-round pick in this year's draft, who moves like a forward with his really good post skills, agility, and jaw-dropping leaping ability, with a freakish 7'7" wingspan and a 9'8" standing reach. Yes, you heard that correctly, a 9'8" standing reach. So he definitely possesses the body to compete in today's NBA. And Khaman moves more like a traditional wingman rather than a traditional center, which practically allows him to be able to play the positions 4 to 5 quite confidently, I must say. And Khaman has this sort of amazing and infectious energy on both ends of the floor, whether it's catching lobs or blocking shots. And Khaman has a lot of potential as both a face-up player and as a post player, where he can utilize his athleticism, speed, and mobility to take defenders off the bounce. And Khaman is a very good role man, most especially in pick and roll situations. And if he is paired with a great point guard / great facilitator, oh my god, he becomes twice as good. And he dominates and really thrives in second chance opportunities. So if you miss a shot, or if he misses a shot, he's gonna fly in there and punch it on you. So good luck. And Khaman has this really good defensive instincts. And because of these instincts, he's capable of guarding positions 3 to 5. And he's also a fantastic shot blocker with his great sense of timing, instincts, length, and explosiveness around the rim. And with this skill set, he could definitely contribute immediately at the NBA level. And in this past season, Khaman averaged 9 points, 7 rebounds, shooting 75.4% from the paint and 71% from the field for Duke. And these averages aren't as eye-catching or aren't that great to say, but what's impressive is that Khaman was able to become a NBA level type of player in such a short amount of time. Because context, people, he started playing basketball at the late age of 13 in 2019. And that's amazing. And the growth that he has demonstrated ever since his time in the Basketball Africa League is nothing short but incredible. And the fact that he became a double-double machine in the ACC, which is known to be one of the strongest conferences in all of college basketball. Once y'all are done watching this video, please learn about Khaman's life story. I highly suggest that y'all learn about it. It's so inspiring, and I'm sure you guys will love his story. Anywho, if I were to compare him to an NBA player, it would be Donovan Clingan of the Portland Trail Blazers. And in my opinion, in order for Khaman to become a great player, he just needs more in-game reps to improve his offensive decision making. Because I noticed at times, most especially when he played for Duke this past year, he likes to sort of force passes and he commits a lot of offensive mistakes because he sort of rushes into his post moves, and it kind of makes him a bit more predictable. But I'm sure he can be able to fix that easily. And honestly, he just needs to shoot better in general. And I think more doors will definitely be open for him offensively if he just shoots better. And he just needs to gain a little bit more muscle, because sometimes I see that he gets bullied down there in the paint by smaller guards or stronger athletic forwards or really thick and muscular bigs. And the NBA is full of buff guys like that. And if Khaman has a great development plan and team around him, I think he really has a good chance to be pretty damn great in the NBA one day. These three international basketball phenoms will head to this year's 2025 NBA draft, and I hope you all enjoyed today's video. And please hit that like button if you learned anything new, and I would greatly appreciate it if you hit that amazing and beautiful red subscribe button to join the OTL family today. Thank you very much, God bless you, and see you next time. Goodbye.